Well, hi there. My name is Karen White. I teach in Caldwell County Schools at Granite Falls Middle School. I'm a 7th grade language arts and science teacher. I teach on a 2-man team, and it's really a great place to be. I'm a mom of all these kids, and so I have a lot of those things that I kind of incorporate into what I'm doing anytime I'm thinking about kids. But I'm going to actually be responding to Jill Trexler's reflections for Module 2. And one of the things she talked about was she's in a Title I school, and she's had to do some home visits, and she's absolutely right that there is nothing like seeing poverty firsthand. When you see a child who lacks basic necessities, or those basic necessities really become a luxury, it is just heartbreaking to see what they don't have, and how sometimes they don't even know that they don't have because they're so satisfied with what they have. But then other kids have so much and they take it all for granted. But it is truly eye-opening when you see what really some of these kids go home to, and to not have a heart for them and just compassion for what they go through. I just don't understand. One of the things you said is that they have the drive to do better because they need to make their world better, and you're exactly right. And then you see these other kids who, for lack of a better word, are spoiled little brats, and they just throw away every opportunity. I just wish I could take some of those opportunities and give them to the kids that really want to work hard. It's really heartbreaking. And when you look into our popular culture today, and this doesn't mean I'm Republican or Democrat or anything like that, but if you look at the story of Ben Carson and how he was with a single mom who just made him do his work and didn't let him ever let up, it's just amazing to see how somebody gifted like he is can overcome. And that's really the dream of all of our kids who really don't have as much as the others. Another thing that you talked about was teacher preparedness, and really I agree with you. Teacher preparedness is key for us to meet the needs of our students, and we have to be prepared to help them with their affective, social kind of issues, and we have to help them with their emotional issues, and we have to meet those basic needs before they're ready to do any academics. If a kid comes in and they just have nothing, or they're hungry, or mom and dad fought all night, or they're going to lose their house, or whatever their issue is, they can't even begin to learn about mitochondria in the cell, because who cares? Or what is the central idea of this paragraph or this text, or what difference does it make to even try to link that text to them if their basic needs are not met? And we have to be totally prepared. It is truly the key to success, and I certainly agree with you. We have to use our data. And in fact, I had a meeting just last week with a child who, his data really shows that maybe I should be working with phonics with him. And he's not a gifted student, but I should be working with phonics with him, when really he's able to decode large words using Greek and Latin roots, prefixes, and suffixes. And so there's something wrong there. He doesn't need phonics. He needs something, and we actually are probably going to be doing some testing with him because there's some disconnect there, and it's a processing thing maybe, or something. But I think that there's probably something in him that is probably above average, and we just haven't tapped into it yet. And I just feel really passionate that we have to really work hard to meet the needs of as many kids as we can. I'd love to say all, but boy, you know how hard that really is to practically put it into play. But we have to be prepared. We have to use that data, but really, more importantly, I really believe that when you look at a teacher's heart, it has names of all these students on it. This one I have Isaac and Noah and Gideon and Kelly and Emily, and I don't know if I said Isaac or not, but I have stories that go with all of these kids that are gifted, that didn't have something going for them along the way. Have to use that teacher heart to really make a difference. Prepared, yeah, but yet also just have to have compassion for what they go through when they're at home. The next thing is that you talked about is you have to tap into their background knowledge. You have to tap into their prior life experiences. You have to tap into whatever their different cultures are. Now, in my school, we have primarily white. We're 97% white. We have very few students that are AIG that are minorities, because we have very few minorities. In fact, as I think about it, I'm not even sure I have even one black student in my classes this year out of my 50 students. So I know I have a Hispanic child. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I don't have broad multicultural issues to deal with in my building. But boy, I have socioeconomic issues. And I know that sometimes we have to create learning experiences in order for students to make connections, to really turn them on to learning and to see that light bulb go off that we're all looking for. Some of my kids come in with so much and some come in with so little. And when you look at our AIG kids, some come in and they don't have what you'd like for them to have because they are poor and they do not have they haven't been to Disney World, they haven't been to the beach, they haven't been a lot of different places. Some of our kids haven't even been to the mountains, and we're right in the foothills. And some kids never even leave Caldwell County. We have to really make opportunities for them. Now, I'm not going to say that I should always be the one giving everybody the trip that they deserve. Oh, there goes the wind, pick up my stuff, but that's okay. I'm not saying that I should be traveling kids all over the place, especially since when we do take trips, a lot of times those kids can't even afford the trips we're going on. So we have to really find a delicate balance of what can we bring in and create in our classrooms for our bright kids, for our middle of the road kids, for our low kids, and hopefully give them a common learning experience. It's very difficult though. It is a delicate balance, like you said, between the teacher planning efforts and teaching kids. I have to turn it around. About team and real life experiences and oral expression and creativity and hands-on. You're right, it's a tremendous balance, and there is so much you have to do as a teacher to be ready to get it all planned for them and meet everybody's needs. It is such hard work, but I will tell you that you know and I know that it is such rewarding work. That balance is important. We have to help our students. I've written balance again. We have to help our students find it, whether it's between their academic and their emotional. I've seen students, and I wrote about one girl I had named Anna, bright child. She made perfect scores on the EOCs in high school and things like that. And somewhere along the way, there's something that didn't get met in her affective needs. And so now at 21 or so, she is just dealing with things like a 16-year-old would. And so even though she's super book smart, she doesn't always get it for the other stuff, where other kids get the social stuff and they just don't get the academic stuff. And that doesn't make them not AIG. They're very gifted in some areas. They're just not necessarily areas that we identify all the time. So we have to balance the academic and the emotional. We have to balance home and school. When you have a kid who's hungry or doesn't know if they're going to stay in the same house, or if mom's going to move them again, or if dad's going to beat mom, or whatever it is, we have to somehow meet those needs and balance it for them. We have AIG students who participate in a lot of extracurricular activities, and then they have to balance that time between the extracurricular and the academics. And then another issue we really have to look at carefully is parent involvement. And parent involvement for some kids is really key in order to be able to be successful. But then we have other students who can hardly move without their parents just being the helicopter parents you hear about. We've got to try to help students to try things on their own, and we have to encourage parents to let that rope out just a little bit. And as a 7th grade teacher, I tell parents, and it's not always popular, I tell them this is a great place to fail at something, not fail for the whole year, but mess up and dig your way out of the hole, because really, until you learn that struggle, you don't know what to do with it. Kids who never struggle coming up through, they have other struggles that could be life-altering, that if we just don't take the time to fail and pick ourselves up and dig ourselves out of the holes we make, if parents can't let their kids mess up, then how will they ever learn to survive when they do mess up? Because my goodness, we are human and we all do. So it's all really, like you said, a balance. I couldn't agree more with you that balance is key. So Jill, I really enjoyed reading what you had to say. I hope that I've made logical connections for that, but I've really enjoyed doing this too. So that's it, and I hope to be able to listen to what everybody else has to say. Thanks.